What's going on, family? It is your brother, your family, your favorite play cousin you didn't even know you had, Carlos Davis. Welcome you to another episode of the Network or Die podcast. Now, I know, you're like, Carlos, where are you now? I know things are opening up, and you've been to New York, you've been to all these places, but where are you now? You're not at Out and Lane, and shout out to Out and Lane, our sponsor. No, we're not at the Out and Lane studio. No, we're not in the office. Again, as always, if you would like your discount on your Out and Lane wear as well as your Made Lifestyle collection, make sure you stay all the way to the end so that I can give you your way of getting your discount. But where are we? Where are we? We are at Studio 229 on Brevard here in Charlotte, North Carolina. You may have or may not have heard of Studio 229 on Brevard, but if you haven't, it's okay because you soon will. I will tell you. And as you will see throughout the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to check it out on YouTube as well if you're listening on the podcast, that it is the premier, and I'm serious with y'all, it is the premier event space here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And with it being Women's History Month, you know we had to interview one of Charlotte's shining stars, women leaders in Charlotte, North Carolina. Of course, in addition to that, her great half, her furniture mover as we like to call him, but a great man as well. Of course, we're interviewing Monique Douglas and Kevin Douglas. How y'all doing, family?
We're doing great. We're doing great. What an introduction.
Look.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
So family, so there's a story with us. We've actually known each other for numerous years. I've actually had the honor of being on stage with this amazing woman in various speaking engagements. I've had also the honor of being photographed and being videoed by this gentleman over here. If you look at www.istandandDeliver.com, a lot of that work is his work. And so it's just interesting. It is a blessing for me during this Women's History Month for this month to not only interview you, Monique, but also you, Kevin, and you all being, of course, the first couple, not the last, but the first couple we will interview with the Network or Die podcast, because I am just so proud of what you all have done individually. I've always looked up to you in my time here, in the work that you do for yourselves, your family, and your community, but now coming together with Studio 229 on Brevard, the Brooklyn Collective, and just see. So for those of you, I know you're family to me, but kind of tell the Network or Die podcast audience, those that are watching, of course, here on YouTube, as well as listening online through podcasts. Tell them who you are. Tell them who you are, Monique.
Well, I am a mother, number one, of four amazing young folks, and a gamma. That's what
gamma.
I'm
not grandma.
Nope,
or glamma. You know, that's real popular now.
I'm a gamma. That's what my 5-year-old grandson likes to call me. So I'm taking that name and running with it. So I love my children, my grandson, but more importantly, I like to say that I'm a greatness groomer. So I am someone who just absolutely loves pulling out the goodness and the greatness that I believe all of us have within, and helping that to be amplified and to shine. And so whether that's in working with women, working with professionals, working with youth, that is what I desire to do for everyone that comes in contact with me. Is let's bring out the greatness that you have within. And sometimes we may not fully believe that we really have it, and sometimes we need someone to help to encourage us and inspire us to be able to bring that out. So my background, though, is 20 years in cosmetic sales and management, and 17 years in hospitality sales and management. And so I'm a sales girl at heart, but more importantly, I am about the service of others and service with excellence and service with a smile. And so that's what folks in Charlotte know me for. I migrated here in 2007 from the Baltimore, Washington area, And then previously, I'm originally from the Bahamas, so I'm a Bahama mama. Bahamas. But being here the past 13 years in Charlotte and being in the hospitality industry, it was really a natural progression. Once I left that industry, to still continue that theme of hospitality,
right,
as we do here at our vineyard, Studio 229 on Brevard. So it's an exciting journey.
Right, right.
But also being a business coach with a focus on helping individuals to build their personal brands in the marketplace. It's also a tie-in for the work that Kevin and I do together with our brand, which is CBK Branding and Consulting Firm.
Got it, got it. Now, of course, the amazing man to your left, another one about my brother, Kevin. Kevin, tell our audience about you, my brother.
How do I follow?
I know. I mean, I know it's hard to follow. I would hate to follow that myself.
Exactly. My journey has been very, very unique. Most people know me as a photographer, videographer here, but my journey actually started in the military.
Thank you for your service, by the way, Kevin.
U.S. Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And from there, after 9 years, I migrated to working for NASA at the Kennedy Space Center. So I used to work on the Space Shuttle program for 6 years, traveling the world and doing that. That journey led me to Puerto Rico, which was my first taste of entrepreneurship. If you've ever been in malls and you've seen these amazing cinnamon glazed almonds and pecans and other, they have that great aroma. I actually started that franchise on the island of Puerto Rico.
Wow.
So did that for about 8 years, and after many trials and other with that, shut that business down, and I migrated to Charlotte 0304. Signing graphics company for a while, economic crash, and actually I was doing some kind of amateur photography work. And so when I actually had to shut my signing graphics company down, in September of 09, I did a birthday party at a club over a weekend. Come Monday morning, the club owner fired his photographer and hired me full time.
Wow.
And that's how I started. Through years of shooting clubs, kind of where I did my chops, so to speak, and then started Epicenter here, uptown Charlotte, was my first corporate client. And from there, it's been a blur.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what I do. Every day is different.
Yeah.
When I did the gallery in Ballantyne 5 years ago is where I met this beautiful lady. And we kind of, through the years, our talents and things just kind of merged. And finally, 2-3 years ago, we really came together as a team. But the beginning of 2021, we had a serious discussion about actually formalizing CBK branding and marketing firm. And so Monique is tremendous at organization and making sure everything was put together properly. I tell people I just move furniture.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother.
I am the visionary behind everything that we do, but collectively as a team, it's an absolute perfect mix. And so we're grateful and fortunate to have been given the opportunity to do this space. And so now the next level of our journey is how do we expand the partnership beyond just her and I to other entrepreneurs, tastemakers, people that are really interested in collaborating and helping entrepreneurs and other people to go to the next journey. So we're excited about where we are. We're excited about the venue, and you know, with you and a lot of other folks. We're just looking forward to partnerships.
And I love that. Now, so we've done business together for years, and one of the reasons why I definitely wanted you all on the podcast is for the fact that you two, and I'm gonna start individually. We're two, to me, are two of the best networkers in Charlotte. Everybody, you know, like, well, Carl, no, you two are definitely two of the best networkers in Charlotte. But kind of tell our listeners, our viewers, why networking has been so important, and how it's been so important in both of you all's careers, but then also how it's really transitioned, you know, now as being even more valuable as a couple.
I like to tell people that I don't even look at it as networking. What I look at it as is relationship building. And so for me, my entire life has been centered around building meaningful relationships. And so, you know, for me, networking it's not a chore, because I really am going into it with the idea of, let me learn more about this one, that one, the next one. And I'm not going into it with the mentality of, I'm trying to find someone to buy my product or service. So when you're looking at it from that nature, then it just takes away all the intimidation thought. You know, a lot of people are like, I hate networking. Well, what are you saying? You know, maybe you hate it because you're going into it with the wrong motive. So if you're going into it with the motive of meeting new people, learning how individuals' journeys. I think my favorite part of meeting people is learning their journey, because inevitably I'm going to realize that there's a connection between their journey and my journey. I'm going to be inspired by something that they've shared when they talk about their journey. And it's going to help me remember that individual the next time I see them, because I've gotten to know them, right? But most importantly, I tell people that I really don't network for myself. I network for my net. So it's not about me.
I better be taking notes on that,
Yeah, I network for my net. It's who do I meet that I can in turn connect them with someone that's in my network, so that those two can partner and collaborate together to create greatness. And so it really has to do with your motive. Why are you doing it?
Right.
And when you're clear on that, it becomes the most enjoyable thing ever. And so I can say that my 13 years in Charlotte, and I did the same thing in Baltimore area, I've met some of the most amazing individuals, people that are doing just incredible things, but more importantly have been able to connect people that I've met with each other. And for me, that is so rewarding.
Yes.
It is so rewarding.
Yes.
Piggybacking off of what she just said about relationships, the one thing that she and I are very proud of in the way that we do business, that our business is intentional. I love being able to connect folks that really have no idea that they have certain commonality. The one thing that people need to understand about photographers in the business that I do is you come in contact with all sectors of business, entrepreneurs, corporate, and the other. So you have an opportunity to build relationships that other folks may not necessarily have the opportunity to do.
Right.
And so over the years, as we do that, it gives you an opportunity for me to learn about what you do, this person, the other, and now it's a thought process, the intentionality of, you know what, I have somebody that can help you, or someone that can mentor you. So there's a lot of different ways that you can approach what you do. But like she said, if you're looking at networking as a job or a chore, then you're not going to have any enjoyment out of it. I don't necessarily subscribe to doing networking events. Part of the mission of 229 is between what we do on a day-to-day basis, the photography, video, and the other, then we turn around and we're event-based. So we are going to touch so many different people. So now this is an opportunity for us to take networking to another level because we're building relationships with our clients, but at the same time now I have the ability to use that and help other entrepreneurs and connect other folks and others. So this is an exciting time for us.
Yeah, no, I love it. So now that you're a couple, because individually, you know, I've known you all and we've worked in so many different circles together. But now that you're a couple, how do you two collectively as a couple? Because I know there's probably some of our viewers, some of our listeners that are couples that are married or maybe they're in some type of relationship. Maybe they think, well, I only need to network for myself. She'll network or he'll network on her own. Then we'll just kind of come together. How do you all see networking now that you're married? How do you all view networking? How do you all network now versus when you were single? So
the easy thing for us is because we're all under one house. Previously, it was she would do her business, and then if she saw the opportunity to pass the person to me, the issue with what we call doing services, having 5 or 6 different people that are separate companies working on the same project is sometimes the collaboration between everyone translates, some things get lost in the translation. By us being in the same house, most starts off with any client, whether they're existing or a new client. The initial thing is the consultation. You getting a full understanding of what that client needs, and then between the networking part of it, we can collaborate with the services that we do in-house. But once we decide, hey, I want to use Carlos for this services, or I want to use another company for these services and other, when we come to the table, we can translate a full understanding of what that client's needs are, as opposed to that client have to explain that to every single company that they run to. So the importance of a single entry, full understanding of what those clients' needs are, and then from there, and your community partners and your network partners have a full understanding of what that client needs.
Right.
And I think, again, when we talk about the connection between networking and the work that we do as a couple, consulting is a form of networking because it is a form of relationship building. When you consult with someone, you're saying, who are you? What do you do? What do you need? How can I help?
Right.
And so when you get the answer to all of those questions, well, now you're able to then, you built this relationship with this individual. You have a full understanding of their needs and their journey and where they're coming from. And now you can clearly articulate that through an implementation of each of the components of what they need in order to take their business, in our case for branding, to another level. So it is another form of networking. Right. And if you're consulting with lots of different people that are coming to you for services, or people that you meet out and about, that you realize there's something that you have that could be of benefit to them, well, now you're really helping. You're really benefiting your community. You're benefiting entrepreneurship, and again, the contribution, which is what we're all about, to economic and upward mobility in your own community.
Right. You know, and family, I hope you're getting this understanding. You know, even if you're a solopreneur, being reminded it's okay. It's actually a good thing when you can partner up with people that you trust to really enhance the networking piece, especially if you're a couple, if you're a married couple. You know, it really enhances everything. And so I really hope you caught what both of them said in this whole talk about networking, because again, it doesn't have to be a solo thing. Nothing wrong if you do that. But if you have people, even your friends, even if you're not in a relationship, if you have friends, business colleagues, professionals that you know you all work well, that you know that you work well together, you can still do networking collectively and really enhance not yourself. Because remember what Mo said, it's not about yourself, it's about the net. It's about the net that you are working with and collaborating with. With that said, so if you're watching on our YouTube channel, we thank you for that. If you're not watching on the YouTube channel, definitely make sure you check that out, because you'll probably see throughout this episode the different sites of this venue and everything that Mo and Kevin have created. Tell us more about this space, and regardless whether you're in Charlotte or not, I really want people to understand what this couple has built. So kind of tell us about how this space came about and where it's going. What are the next steps with this space?
So we opened our location 6 weeks before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So who could have guessed?
Right.
At the time
Yeah.
that we opened, who could have guessed
Wow.
that 6 weeks later we would have to close?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Kevin and I looking at each other like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like,
What did we just bite off?
bite off?
Mhm.
What in the world, right?" And like everyone, we had those moments of pause where we had to try to figure this out and figure out what was going on. And so at that time, we kind of stepped back to really reevaluate our intentions and the direction in which we wanted to move with regards to this location, our business,
Let me step in
and
for
our
a
business
second.
model.
Yeah, the thing that really, most of my business was built around portfolios, professional work, travel,
Right.
events, other. So literally the week of shutdown, we canceled four trips were canceled.
Wow.
Everything, portfolio work, everything came to a screeching halt. So as we're sitting and we're trying to figure out the pivot, we really took another look at the venue. And the perspective became, how do we pivot and generate other streams of income? With this being the asset. Studio 229 became a different kind of asset. And so as we start looking at it, hey, we can have events here. Hey, we've got this bar. We have the ability to flip this space any way we want. Then became looking at it from a digital aspect. How do we stream? Because people are now doing things online.
Right.
We've never done a podcast. So our podcast studio's in development upstairs. So we took a whole nother approach to this as an asset, Studio 229. And so now, you don't want people to take it the wrong way that COVID was a blessing. But what came out of this situation is CBK Branding and Marketing now is a stronger firm because of how we had to reevaluate how we did business. And it helped us evolve to another level. And so with the whole Brooklyn Collective piece of this, the owner had tremendous faith in us in how we were doing business. And so now, between the church, the Grace, Studio 229, and the art gallery, we are managing a portfolio of over 8,000 square feet. And so we have the ability now to pivot and do things that previous to COVID were not in our thought process.
Right.
So that's how we've used the time in the last year and some change to really pivot. And so Mo can tell you more about the property.
Yeah, and so answering your question, I use 3 words right now to describe how we maneuvered through 2020, through the pandemic, and where we are now, and that is that we pivoted, we persevered because it was not easy,
Right.
and we positioned ourselves.
Mm.
And so we're positioned now even stronger
Sure.
than we were going in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with more purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So the Studio 229 on Brevard is one of 3 buildings, as he mentioned, that are a part of a greater mission.
Sure.
And that mission and project is called the Brooklyn Collective.
Mm-hmm.
We happen to be sitting in a historical block in the city of Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
which was a part of the Black Wall Street of Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And the historic building, the Mecklenburg Investment Company building, which doors opened in 1922
Mm.
and was the first African American financed, designed, and occupied office building in the city of Charlotte.
Wow.
And so the rich history for the African American community in what is also one of the last pieces of the neighborhood known as Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
that was torn down during urban renewal between the 1960s and 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a very, very special block in our
Right.
city. And so we're a part of that Brooklyn Collective, which is here to honor the history
Mm-hmm.
and to pick up the work that the founders of these buildings left.
Right.
And that work centered around social consciousness, economic and upward mobility, and entrepreneurship. And so we've gone back to the model in the Mecklenburg Investment Company building, which was an incubator in the
Mhm.
1900s for small businesses, providing them the resources and support to help them grow.
Right.
We've gone back to that model and now incubate 9 small businesses and nonprofits, an
Mhm.
artist in residence program, and a maker creator space, who is a fashion designer and an embroiderer.
Mhm.
And so again, doing the same work, providing the resources and support
Mhm.
to help them to grow and be successful. And so
Networking.
yes,
Bingo.
which goes right back to bringing in a net and then providing the resources within our
Mhm.
networks to assist them
Mhm.
in their growth and development.
Yeah.
So when we look at, we don't look at this as just a Studio 229 on Brevard,
Mhm.
which is our business, but
Sure.
we're more interested in being a part of the community initiative
Mhm.
that has now bloomed and blossomed out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have for those of you who have been watching and listening to the Network or Die podcast for these episodes, y'all probably know what the next question is. You know, it is a standard question that we always ask, and it is centered around, you know, you talked about service. Both of you all talked about service. So how can our listeners, our viewers, be of service to you, Studio 229, and the Brooklyn Collective? How can we be of service to you?
Well, there are lots of opportunities.
Okay.
Lots of opportunities. One is to direct individuals. When you hear someone say, oh my goodness, I need help with the branding of my company.
Mhm.
Someone who may be a brand new entrepreneur and they're running around like crazy trying to figure out how to get all these components together to get themselves launched
Mhm.
and moving. Someone who may be seasoned in business and they need a refresh.
Mhm.
Like they're old and stale,
Mhm.
and now it's time to refresh their brand. You know, these are the type of individuals, people that are in corporate who've been working many years for other companies and now are realizing that this job that they're connected to may not be their end all.
Mhm.
You know, that they have some other things they want to do, and they realize they don't have a personal brand in the marketplace,
Mhm.
and they don't even know where to begin
Mhm.
to establish one. Those are individuals that can be referred to us to help them to build and grow in those areas. With regards to the Brooklyn Collective, the community, there are opportunities for sponsorship here at the
Okay.
Brooklyn Collective, because the Brooklyn Collective is a nonprofit. And so the community can actually step in. We'll be opening up probably the beginning of third quarter, an actual membership program where the community can really feel that they have a vested interest in the preservation of these buildings and in the programming that's going to be happening out of the Brooklyn Collective for the community.
Sure.
And then bringing people to the art gallery, where, for example, our current exhibit honors frontline workers. I mean, who would not want to be engaged in art that does something that highlights and showcases something that meaningful? So if you know local artists, introduce them to us, because we have opportunities for both musical artists and visual artists to be amplified and showcased. So those are ways the community can be involved.
More on the entrepreneur side, as I was talking to you earlier, Carlos, I think Studio 229 and the collective as a whole is going to ultimately become a hub for us to expand our networks, have the ability to offer products and services on a wider base. For me now, I feel like the journey that I've been on and the opportunity that I've been given, now it's time to give back. So with the photography wall, the infinity wall, 24-foot infinity wall, by the way. I'm gonna throw that in there.
If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see this infinity wall. Make sure you check that out.
We are offering opportunity right now. I'm mentoring 2 young videographers, and I have a photographer from New York that moved here, was trying to get his feet wet in the marketplace, could not find a home studio, so now we brought him in. And so this is an opportunity for us now to offer a beautiful venue for events and other seasoned or entry-level entrepreneurs to do work, because we do recognize that a lot of folks lost their places during the pandemic, and the businesses have not recovered to the point that they are ready to open another studio or take on the financial burdens of being able to run an establishment like this. So we can be a tremendous resource. We've got, we're scheduling shoots and all kind of things every day. And so we welcome the family in Charlotte. Even if you're in Atlanta or somewhere else and you're looking to do a project in Charlotte and you don't have a place to do it, you do now. And so
y'all heard it here, y'all.
Yeah, so that's, the thing that we say, people are asking, well, how can we support you? Another, just show up. Just show up, ask questions. We're looking for collaborations. Come by, see the venue. Once you're here, it's hard to get a full grasp of the size and the beauty of the space. But once people are actually in here, we've always got jazz playing. We set the tone in an atmosphere that's inviting, and then from there, let's just have a conversation.
So again, if you're watching on YouTube, you throughout this episode, you're seeing, the sites, you're seeing, different parts of it. If you're happening to be listening on the podcast, come over to the YouTube channel, check that out. Also, if you have questions for Kevin and Mo, you're welcome to put those questions in the comments below on the YouTube channel. If you're listening by podcast, all you have to do is send a direct message to me, either on Twitter or Instagram at Mr. Resource Mogul. That's at MR Resource Mogul. I will be glad to funnel these questions to them. And lastly, y'all, so we thank you so much for this time and just enlightening us on your networking journey, but also giving us some great networking tips for ourselves through your journey. How can people get in touch with you? So regardless if they're here in Charlotte or if they're somewhere else in the country or the world, but they want more information on this space, or most importantly, the work that you can do for them, because I honestly believe that because of this pandemic, even though somebody may be listening in Los Angeles, California, Seattle, Washington, Chicago, Illinois, I know, because I can vouch for these people. They are amazing people to work with because they've worked with me. I know they can work with anybody across the country. So kind of tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
So they can do so via our website, which is CBK Branding and that would be AND consulting.com, or they can contact us at 980-428-4973.
Yeah,
You just move furniture.
Call her.
And you're gonna move the furniture.
And I'll move furniture.
and you gonna move the furniture.
Yeah.
Well, again, Mo, Kevin, again, like I said in the beginning, I've always looked up to you two. I'm so proud of the work that you have done in the community for the people, and I just want to thank you for always supporting what we've done as far as events and different things, and just the things that you have taught me in my own journey.
And I want to say to your viewers, this gentleman is amazing at what he does. He's humble. He's energetic. The energy that he brings to what he does is phenomenal, and we're proud to have him as part of our team. And I think very soon, in the very near future, we want to be the host of your very first Back Out of the Box networking event.
It is.
I think we'll have a phenomenal day, and again, we thank you for what you do.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. You know, we love you to death.
Well, family, this is your new family. As we have everybody that's come through the Network and I podcast, they're your family now. So please make sure you reach out to them. Please make sure that you support them in everything you. Thank you guys so much again for interviewing with me today. Again, if you want to participate in getting your discount code for Out and Lane as well as Made Lifestyle Collection, it's simple. Send me a direct message at Mr. Resource Mogul on Twitter, at Mr. Resource Mogul on Instagram. I will be glad to share that with you, send that over to you, as well as if you have any questions for Mo and Kevin, send those over. Would love to pass those questions on to them and have them connect with you. As always, if there's anything I can do for you, that we can do for you, please reach out. As always, hey, this is your favorite relative, your favorite play cousin you didn't even know, Carlos Davis at Mr. Resource Mogul. Until the next time we see each other, I'll see y'all at the top.